Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we will be filtering records using logical comparison operators. The operators we'll be using here are or, and, in, and between. We will be using these comparison operators in combination with the where clause to filter records from a database table. I have got SQL Server Management Studio opened, and on the left I've got my Object Explorer and some objects listed. So let's look at the database. The database we will be using for this illustration is the AdventureWorks database, AdventureWorks 2014. We'll be using two schemas and two tables from this database. We'll be using the person schema and the person table from this database, and we will also be using the human resources schema and the employee table. So let's open up a new query window by clicking on this tab here, new query. So this is where we'll write our query. Make sure you've got the right database selected, the database you want to execute your query against. So we'll be using AdventureWorks 2014. So the drop down here, we can select 2014 AdventureWorks. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, if you forget to change the default database, you can use the use keyword to specify the database you want to use in this query. So you can do it two ways, either this way or that way. Okay, and then you specify the goal and then you begin your query. So let's have a quick look at the person schema and the person table and see what's in there. So we'll do a select. Star means I'm requesting for all the columns, and then so we return all the columns and all the rows from the person table, which belongs to the person schema. So this is it. So this query is good to go. So let's execute that. So this is everything returned from this person table, which belongs to the person schema. So we want to apply some filter and limit what records are returned. So we're going to filter the records that are returned because we don't want everything returned. I have pre-written my script to save a bit of time. So from line 6 to 10 is where I've written a script that includes a filter. So on line 6 here, on the select, I've specified 3 columns: first name, the person type, and then the last name here. Line 7 is where I have specified the table and the schema. So the schema comes first, then the dot, and then the table. Line 8, I specify the where clause. The where clause is the chief filter, is the main filter. So I specified where the person type, this column here, is going to have the value of this. So this is the value I'm looking for. It will filter looking for this. So it will return only rows that match this criteria. Line 9, I have also added an extra filter using the OR comparison operator. What the OR comparison does, it will return any record based on the condition that has been specified. 2 conditions have been specified here. Line 8 is where the person type equals to this. Line 9 is where the person types equals to VC. So with the OR operator, if either condition is met, it will return some data. So it doesn't, both conditions doesn't have to be true. If only one is true, it will return something. So that's why it's called the OR. So it's either the first condition is true or the second is true. If both are true, it will return return records that match both conditions. So let's execute that. Run. Notice this is the current row, and notice it will reduce after applying the filter. So we'll go execute. If you notice here, the row has drastically reduced because we've now applied a filter. So there's a drastic reduction in the row due to filtering. Okay, so this is what we've returned based on the filter conditions we applied. We are going to use another logical comparison. This time we're going to use the AND in combination with the WHERE clause. So this is a query I have written for that. Line 6, I specify the columns inside the select keyword. The first name there, last name, person type, and then email promotion. So these are all the column of fields from this table. Line 7 is where I have specified the schema and then the table. The schema comes first, a dot, and then the table. Line 8, I've applied the main filter, which is the WHERE clause. So it's going to filter based on the person type being equals to SC. So it will only return records where the person type equals to SC. So that is the first condition. The second condition is specified on line 9, which is the AND comparison operator. So it's looking, there are two conditions here. When using the AND comparison operator, the conditions specified must both be correct. If not, nothing is returned. If only one is correct and the other is not true, the query will not return anything. In comparison with the OR comparison, the OR will return something if both or if just one is correct. When using the AND, both conditions must be correct. So the conditions are specified in the WHERE clause, which is where person type equals this, SC must be correct, or where the email promotion equals to 2. So let's take a look at the email promotion. See this email promotion here? You notice we've got 2 zeros and 1. So if I execute this should be fine. It should return something. All right, because the criteria, we've matched it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is change the value of the email promotion to one I know that is not present in this column here. So I know the highest value is 2. So if I say 4, I know there's no 4. So this query, I expect this query to fail because both conditions will not be met. The first one is where the person type equals SC. This is definitely will be met because there is, if you look in the person type there are lots of SCs there. And then on the second condition is where the email promotion is 4. So let me execute that. As you can see, it has returned nothing because the second condition failed. The AND, there is no value that is 4. It doesn't have an email promotion with a value of 4. If I was to using the OR in this case, it will return something because this value would have been met, but this will not have been met. So when using the OR, either it's okay, but with the AND, both conditions must be correct or true. So I'll change that back to 2 because I know there is a value there for 2 and we should get some data if I execute. Okay, so this is how the AND comparison works with the WHERE clause. The next comparison operator we are going to use is the IN, which is the IN comparison operator. This is a logical operator. So what the IN does is that it will look for values you have specified enclosed in parentheses. each of the values is separated by a column, comma. So what this will do, the filter will look for all the first name that is either Fred, Mary, or George. So any first name that doesn't match what's enclosed in between these parentheses will not have the records returned. So line 6, I've specified the column, just 2 columns this time, the first name and the last name. The line 7 specifies the schema, a dot, and then the table. Line 8 is the main filter, which is a where clause, where the first name, so it's saying that where the first name in, and then it gives you values to select the name. So any first name that matches the name specified in these values here, enclosed between parentheses. When using the in comparison, you have to enclose the values in parentheses so the T-SQL will know what to look for. So it's saying that only return first names where the names are Fred, Mary, or George. That's what the in does. It specifies values you need to match. So let's run this. Go execute. So you can see Mary, George. There you go. Mary again. Let's look through. Got lots of Mary, George. So you only find 3 names specified in this list: Fred, Mary, or George. All right. So there you go. You won't find anything else apart from the name specified in between these parentheses here. So this is how you would use the in comparison operator, which is a logical operator with the where clause to filter records. We are going to use another comparison, logical comparison operator, which is the between. So what this does is searches for criteria based on a range of values. So this is the schema we're going to use, human resources schema, and we're going to use the employee table. So this is how the table structure or the column. So we're going to be, the focus here, we're going to be using this sick leave column here. Okay. So this is the query here. Line 9, we specify the tables, just 2 tables, there's 2 columns this time, login ID and sick leave hours. So this is the sick leave hours, and this is the login ID, just 2 columns from the human resources schema and then employee table. Where the sick leave hours, so this is the sick leave, so we're going to specify where the hours is between 40 and 99. So it's going to return records where there is a range of value, where the sick leave hours is between 40 and 49. All right, so let's run that. Okay, there you go. So it's between 40 and 49. So you got 69, 80, and so on. Okay, so it will be values that ranges from 40. So there won't be anything less than 40. It must be between 40 and 99. So this is an example of how you would use the between logical comparison operator in combination with a where clause to filter records from a database table. In this lecture, we covered how to filter records using logical comparison operators in combination with a where clause. Thank you for your time.